What's up, Wonder Kid? It is FIFA Expert, and it is also the time to start off a new series on the channel. And today we are going to be starting off the Napoli FC career mode. You know, it's a first Italian career mode on the channel, and hopefully this one will actually be a lot easier to complete than the other career modes I got. The main reason why I'm struggling to complete Project London and so on is because they just bore me, okay? But hopefully with Napoli we are gonna have a bit of fun. Napoli is a good challenge to have, a team that can challenge for Serie A, but it's just that they don't really have the tools and all of that. Now when I look into the squad, I see a very special team, and I'm not really seeing a place where I could really make transfers. I'm not really planning on making too many transfers, especially in season 1 or in the first transfer window. I feel like before I make any of the big transfers, you know, before I make a marquee signing, I have to wait a bit. I want to see what type of club we are going to be designated as, to see what type of club players are going to see us as. So the type of signings we make are definitely going to depend on how well we do in this first season, but it doesn't mean that no signings will be made whatsoever. I of course will be making just a slight small signing. One gap that I do see is definitely goalkeeper, and another one is our CDM and our center back. But again, I'm not really looking to sell any of those guys just yet or even replace them. I just want to see how they are in season 1. And of course, transfers isn't the only way to, you know, replace players and all of that. There's also a youth academy, which won't be too much of a heavy focus, but I will still be looking for good players. I'm only going to try to use 2 scouts the whole season. And of course, Paul Pogba is one of the players I am looking at, as well as Boubacar Kamara, a wonder kid with a high potential if given game time. And when looking into the squad, when I really think about it, I feel like a few more of the important players. It's definitely going to be Insigne, but before I talk about him, I want to talk about Zambo Anguissa. He actually does seem like someone interesting for me, but I feel like my main problem with him is that he is a lone player. I also convert him to CDM, and I'm not sure if I should make his deal permanent. I would like you guys to let me know if I should make the deal permanent by the end of the season. It's all gonna be up to you. A player that I am liking though is Lorenzo Insigne. I think he moved to America in real life, but in this series I'm not looking on selling him, because I do want to try him out. I've never really used him in career mode, so now would be a perfect time to do so. Now, one thing also I do want to talk about in this series is our transfer policy. I do want us to have a good transfer policy that makes things challenging and fair, but at the same time I don't want it to be too unfair. Because like what I do want to do is when players get offers from teams like Real Madrid and whatsoever, then I would accept it, but not in season 1, because I still want to figure out what type of club we're going to be known as. As I am looking through the short list, I am seeing I've collected quite a few players. Diego Carlos is here also, Anthony as well, you know, because I do want to find a right winger that's younger than 25, or any winger younger than 25, because even Herving Lozano is 26 years old at the start of the season. That's the start of the Serie A season, of course. Now, one player that I did want to sign though was a goalkeeper. I did feel like David Ospina, he may be a good goalkeeper, but I don't think I am really going to enjoy using him. So that's why I did decide to go for a goalkeeper. I did start with Kobel, but I did make sure that I did put it in the back of my mind that I don't want to spend the entire budget on one player, especially a goalkeeper, because I did try my best to negotiate with Dortmund, but in the end I realized that Kobel isn't the right option for us right now, so I did have to move on to Alban Lafont, who is a lower overall, but he is younger and he does have a bit more potential, and he is tall too, so he'll basically be a slight improvement to Ospina. So this doesn't mean Ospina is going to fall out of the squad. He's not supposed to fall out of the squad. But it does mean he is going to have competition in a younger player in Alban Lafont. Now, of course, I would really appreciate it if you guys did comment down below your suggestions on transfers I should make. if I were to ask you guys for help, I would ask for a left back, a center back, or a midfielder. And if it's a midfielder, then I'm thinking they don't really have to be first team quality. Just a rotation midfielder would do for me, honestly. And also in the youth academy, we did get our scout reports back on the 1st of August. The only real standouts were all from Italy, 3 players with high values, and one of them had a very special trait about them, and it's their physicality. But I think it is, yes, it is Conti. It's Gianmarco Conti, if I am saying that properly. He does catch my eye with that 84 strength, that high stamina and high jumping. I do see him as more of a center back than a full back. But at the same time, it's a bit awkward for him to be a center back because he's only 5'9". I guess short center backs are going to be the new thing in the future. But what would be a career mode episode without career mode gameplay? And our first game is going to be up against Salernitana. If my voice does sound a little bit different, do forgive me. I am still a bit sick, and I do tend to cough, and then when I cough I have to stop recording my voice and I have to start recording my voice all over again. And right now it does sound a little bit different, but don't worry, you guys will hang with me. I just gotta give you guys this video as much as I possibly can. So while we are looking at the Salernitana gameplay, I do want to talk about a few things in the Napoli career mode as well, and also like talk about our objectives basically and how I am going to be showing you guys matches. So first of all, let's talk about how I will be showing you guys the matches. Against smaller teams and more mid-table teams we aren't really focusing on too much. If I do decide to play against them, I'll only show you like the goals like I am right now. But because we play a possession-based type of football and we play slow build-up, you will see that the build-up starts a little bit earlier than it used to in Project London. And another thing on club objectives as well. For Season 1, I am looking to put a bit of an interesting challenge for a few certain players, specifically Lozano and Politano. I am playing Lozano now, but I feel like just because he has 93 pace doesn't mean he's way better than Politano. They're actually the same overall, but Politano is just a little bit older. So between the two of them, I am setting up a challenge to see who can contribute the most to the squad, and whoever does so by the end of the season will be the one who will stay ahead of next season, and the other one will have to get sold no matter what. A second challenge as well is for Victor Oshimhen. Of course, he won't get sold if he does lose this one out. I see Victor Oshimhen as a very promising youngster. The only thing that will be negatively affected by him if he doesn't complete this challenge is us maybe signing a striker that is near his overall instead of a super young striker who will be developing. So if he doesn't do that well, or at least if he doesn't complete an objective that I set for him, he will have some competition for the next season. But if he does complete it, he will be definitely a certified striker. And if he does score about 20 goals this season, then I think he's going to be the main man for Napoli for a very, very long time. And of course with Lorenzo Insigne, I think it's similar to him as well with the Politano and Lozano situation. If he isn't really contributing enough to the squad, which I would say 25 goal contributions should be good enough to show that he's still got something in the tank and he's still worth keeping. Because at his age, he's not really going to be growing too much. He's only going to be going down. And especially with his pace at 84, it is going to hurt when the pace starts going down as well. But it actually does score a banger at the start of the season, even though I'm talking over it. It is actually a nice goal, though. It is a screamer just inside the box. And it shows that, yeah, maybe he definitely does have something left in the tank. And of course, if he can complete his objective of goal contributions, then he will have to get sold as well, and he will have to get replaced by a younger winger. Comment down below who will be replacing the wingers, and comment down below which striker I should sign. For 1, if Oshimhen does complete his objective, and 2, if Oshimhen doesn't complete his objective. So basically, if Oshimhen completes his objective, I want a striker whose overall will be lower than 78. But if he does not complete his objective, I want a striker with an overall of at least 80, but not higher than 85. So yeah, you guys have some work to do if you're gonna suggest some signings. And this is going to be the end of the game. We do win against Salernitana. It's not really the most comfortable win, but I was just fooling around in this game, honestly. Could have been winning by more, but a win is a win. Another player I did look at was Thiago. He's another one of the older players. I do want to focus more on giving the older players from the Premier League a bit of a chance, especially a player like Paul Pogba. I want to see how he will do in a much more slower style of football in Italy and playing for Napoli. But I did sim against Genoa. We do grab that 3-1 win, and I am going to stop it on deadline day. In case any of you do suggest me some signings, of course, if a signing does not get suggested within 24 hours, then I guess no signings will be made, or maybe, just maybe, I'll give you guys a surprise signing. But yeah, this is the end of the episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing, and if you don't want to, just watch another video.